Womp.
Durka Durka.
Womp.
Durka Durka.
Womp.
Durka Durka.
Womp.
Durka Durka. Durka Durka.
Womp.
Durka Durka.
Womp. Okay, that's enough. Welcome, everybody, to the, what is this, the sixth official podcast of the Geeky Gamers channel. Joining us tonight is...
Hold on, no, fourth official.
No.
The third one was the...
No, I marked the last one as the third, fourth, and fifth. So now it's the sixth. Yeah, you guys are right.
Yeah.
Anyway, joining us tonight is me, myself, Pimp Daddy Willie T.
Sam, the man with no name.
Sen Unite.
Soul.
Colton.
And Lexi.
And tonight's subject is probably going to be a bit variable. We're going to start with movies.
Hey, wait, no, there's a second female here. That's... Oh, wait, no. Oh, no, I fucked it up. Never mind.
What?
I was trying to go for the Jessica's a guy thing, but I'm drunk, so it didn't come out right.
Okay.
You meant to say we finally have a female.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say lesbians abound.
Well, that too.
Well, I think it's already been said now. You said it.
I know I did. Yay me.
Lesbians abound. Where
I
was
was thinking about jumping.
You were
lesbians.
Now I'm thinking about
about-
lesbians.
You were talking about what the topic was going to be, except now it has turned into lesbians, apparently.
It's true.
So let's
We can
talk about lesbians.
movies.
What?
We can talk about lesbian movies.
You know lesbian movies?
They don't...
Lord of the G-string.
I'm not sure that's
One called
specifically
Waller
lesbians.
Release.
It's an hour and a
Well,
half
you know,
of
frankly,
boob
just
licking. It's
the
a
L
lesbian
word
movie.
is
Okay.
basically the worst and the best lesbian thing ever.
What?
The L word.
You know, I've
It's a
seen
series.
That. I have seen
I
that.
know it's a
Queer as
series.
folk.
I don't know anything about
Oh,
it. I haven't seen
wait.
it.
It
What
has
was
a lot
what was
of
that show on
sex and
HBO?
naked people.
What was that show on HBO? Into the Outdoor?
That-
I enjoyed that show.
What?
Into the Outdoor.
I think
That
you're making
sounds
things
very
up.
much like it was about gay
Lisa's here.
sex.
It was
It
about
probably
gay
is.
sex.
Okay.
But it was about gay drama, too.
It's
Oh.
Ego Frog.
Oh, it's luck.
Ego Frog has joined the party.
Hey!
Hello, Ego Frog!
About the pizza!
Hey, he dropped some sodas in his car.
Yeah, I don't know how that extra soda got in there. It just magically appeared, I guess.
Did you take a break?
No.
You can still stick around for a few minutes.
Yeah, I got about 5.
The
Did you
internet
start
wants to talk
working
to
at
you.
Domino's specifically so you wouldn't have to wait for people to put pizza in an oven to show up at their house?
I made it.
Oh, man.
Oh, you're gonna like
I
it.
made it. Myself.
I saw the jaw drop.
Just scribble
Yeah.
something on it, man.
Okay.
So anyway, we're talking about movies.
Oh, yeah? What about him?
Well, I don't know. Since you're only here for a couple of minutes, why don't you start us off? We were talking about lesbian movies, but...
You know, I watched Gravity last night.
Was it good?
It was actually amazing.
I haven't seen it yet, but
There
I
are
want
2
to.
actors in the entire movie.
Oh my God,
Sandra
yes.
Bullock and George Clooney. And, you know, I'm not a huge fan of either one of them. But I would say, like, 15 years ago, if I watched that movie, I would not believe for a second that 98% of that movie was CGI. It's that realistic looking. But it's almost entirely filmed on a green screen. And it is intense from the start to the finish.
What's it about?
Pretty much, Sandra Bullock and George Clooney are astronauts. Well, Sandra Bullock's a mission specialist. She's not really an actual astronaut, but she's up there working on the Hubble telescope. And the Russians destroy one of their old decrepit satellites, and the debris starts circling around the Earth, destroying the other satellites, causing a chain reaction. And then all the debris, which is going at about 800 miles an hour, shoots through the shuttle and everything else like a bullet, and pretty much destroys and kills everyone except for those 2. And Sandra Bullock actually drifts in space for about 15 minutes, and the whole 15 minutes is acted out where she just kind of drifts in space and, you know, is floating around
That
and freaking
sounds
out.
terrifying.
It's
Yes,
god
it does.
awful. You will puke.
It sounds like open water in space.
You need to take like
It's
27
not
of your
as bad
motion
as-
sickness
well,
pills
no,
before
wait.
you even think about watching
I'm
that
thinking
movie.
about Open Water 2.
That much vertigo.
Yeah, it's crazy. I almost puked.
Oh my god, it's possibly the dumbest movie I've ever seen. Not even...
Hang on, we're talking over each other.
I know.
Anyway, but you know, the eventually George Clooney, who has this jetpack, well, not really, just like an air pack, manages to get hold of Sandra Bullock, and then they fly all the way to the International Space Station. They kind of just drip there. It takes them about almost an hour and a half, which is just about the amount of time it takes them to breathe to circle the Earth and get back to them. Well, they get to the space station, but George Clooney actually ends up having to untether himself, and he's out of jet fuel, and he kind of just drifts off into space and dies because he didn't want her to die, and so he kind of sacrificed himself. The rest of the movie for the next 45 minutes is all her.
By the way, spoilers.
Yeah, exactly.
All spoilers, by the way.
That's where I
Sorry,
was going.
I'm a dick.
And
And
how much you hate them.
What I
Yeah.
said was, what is it about? Not does George Clooney die?
oh yeah, I just gave you a whole
But
synopsis.
to be
Yeah,
perfectly
thank
fair,
you.
now that I know George Clooney dies, I'm more inclined to watch.
yeah,
it.
exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
And she gets one of the escape pods from the International Space Station and uses it to travel to the Chinese space station because her escape pod is damaged. It can't make re-entry.
And they do what? Proceed to beat her with bamboo canes?
No, there's nobody. There's nobody on any of these space stations. They've all been evacuated because of the debris floating around the Earth. Well, she gets to the Chinese space station and manages to evacuate and get back to Earth. And that's the end.
Ah.
Wow.
So you just ruined the movie for
Yeah.
anyone listening.
I still want to see it.
It's
I
still
don't care.
amazing.
Wait a minute. When she was filming this movie, did she have her breasts?
She's always had her breasts.
I
No,
doubt
she
they
had
were
them
on
taken
display.
off.
That's
though.
Angelina Jolie.
Who?
Yeah, that
Who'd
was
you say?
Sandra
Bullock.
Oh! She never had any breasts to begin
Although,
with.
funny you should mention that, the original two actors slated to play the roles
I
of
love
George
Sandra
Clooney and Sandra Bullock were Johnny Depp and Angelina Jolie.
Movie would have been better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
It was
but
still
if
a really
Johnny
good
Depp
movie.
had
Anything
been in it,
without
Tim
George
Burton
Clooney.
would have had to join.
I really like Sandra Bullock.
Tim Burton in
I love
space
her.
sounds like a good
She's
movie
a
to me.
fantastic person, actually.
Space opera.
I don't know.
But it's really frightening. I was literally on the edge of my seat from the time the movie started to the time the movie
So
finished.
he would have to take, like, the watching Pacific Rim 3D amount of meclizine?
Yeah, more
Oh,
than that probably.
man.
Imagine,
Pacific Rim
imagine
3D.
being in a spacesuit, Lamb, and then spinning over and in space.
Yeah,
Constantly.
actually,
Planet, sun, planet, sun, planet, sun.
the thing of it is that it wouldn't really be that big of a deal because there's no pull.
Trust me, you'll want to take it. I was
No.
gonna-
Yeah, no. What I'm saying is, if I were floating free in
Yeah.
space, spinning around, it probably wouldn't bother me.
Yeah,
Like vertigo.
I
Watching the
actually,
movie is going to make me throw up.
I actually got a little bit of motion sickness watching it, and I never get
How
motion
do you
sick.
feel the pull when it's not happening to you?
It's a little hard to describe severe vertigo, okay?
Oh no, I've had it.
Let's
It-
just
I can
call it
understand
vomit-inducing
that,
and leave it at that.
Pretty much. Anyway,
I got vertigo watching the new Superman, okay?
No, thank you.
anyway, as I was talking over, ego for my fault. Open Water 2 may be the dumbest, most unnecessary sequel I've ever seen in my life. Basically, a bunch of people jump off a boat and they forgot to put the ladder down, so they can't get back into the boat for 2 hours.
Really?
That's what the entire movie is. They're trying to make it dramatic, but the fact is that they're just
Well,
sitting next
then
to a
don't
guy.
they
Enough for
lose
y'all.
the boat?
That's
What?
That's
That's the
Open
whole
Water
water.
2.
Yeah,
The
oh,
boat's apparently there the whole time, so
Yeah.
they're just stupid.
Yeah,
Basically, they should have just called it natural selection.
pretty much.
retard baby.
This is why you always leave someone on the boat.
Oh yeah, no, they did. It was a baby.
They left a baby on the boat.
Yeah.
Well, now I want them
Well,
all
they
to die.
yeah,
they
they
drowning with
die.
them, can't
Yeah, no,
they?
they left the baby on the boat, and the last two, one guy grabbed the other person that was going to stay on the boat and pulled her into the water with him.
This is starting to sound a lot like
That's the
Beat
one
Wise.
you drowned and used for sustenance.
And,
Feed him to the sharks first.
all of the fucking drama they could get from it was people just stopped paddling and died.
Oh, God.
They lost the will
Oh, the
to live
horror.
and just drowned.
Just like me watching this movie.
Pretty much.
It's like watching the last 15 minutes of Titanic. Only for
Uh,
2 hours.
It's actually more like watching the entire movie Titanic.
Yeah.
Please let go of me. I want to die.
I can't look at your face
Wait, does
anymore.
that mean we haven't talked about X-Strike on any of these podcasts?
No,
Technically?
Talk about
whatever
X-Ray.
that is.
What?
X-Strike Studios.
Yeah.
You know what
Oh,
that
no,
is.
that's right.
Gobble
Okay.
Scat.
You know,
I've seen that movie. That was the only one.
Oh, that's fine.
I would assume.
That's the best one.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I don't know. Project Snake was pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, I'll grant
Any
you.
that didn't have that horrible
She
female
was in one movie,
actress. That, yeah,
and
exactly.
seriously, that was the joke.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry you couldn't stand her that much, but seriously,
It
that was
painful,
the joke.
dude.
It wasn't that
Oh,
painful.
God.
This is cool.
William, you can do video captures now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could do our own Misties, couldn't we?
Yes. We
That
can
would be
do
awesome.
anything we want.
We have all the power.
I've been trying to get this to everyone's head for
Mr.
weeks
Science
now.
We now Emperor Udina.
Except not Mystery Science Theater.
Well, obviously not.
Good Lord
We're not
Almighty,
nearly that
like
good.
the buttermilk conspiracy.
Oh, we already talked about that.
That won't be
Hey,
shown
Alan,
on
you ever wanted to
YouTube.
do porn?
No, that's you porn.
What
I
if we
don't
gave
think
you
anyone
3
ever agreed to that. I
Domino's
think Amanda
pizzas?
agreed to that, and that was it.
I don't
Oh,
think
no,
anyone wants to see me do porn either.
Mick agreed to do porn.
Oh, okay. So you've had 2 people agree.
Mick seemed really
That's enough to
excited
make a
about
porn.
it, too.
That's all you need.
Not for the one he wants to make. He needs more people.
Oh.
And I need someone with a gargantuan dick who looks good in a very tight police uniform.
I cannot help you in the dick department. Sorry.
Oh, and we were so hoping.
You
Go to the
could,
gym.
going back to the topic of lesbians, you could just substitute a woman with a gigantic strap-on.
No. Because the beginning of the movie has to have them jerking off into a vat of buttermilk.
They make ones that you can just.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a thing now.
You know, no, it ruins the whole... You don't know anything about my vision, do you? You are,
Don't give it away. Don't
you
give it
are
away.
fired!
He has a scene of your
So we'll
vision.
get a new executive producer.
You are fired, sir.
What about the wireless keyboard?
We did.
Oh, it's cool.
It's specifically so we can use YouTube on the Xbox.
Really should have just bought the one that plugs into the controller.
That was so
Well,
much
that
more
one actually
expensive.
has multiple uses, though.
And that was so much more
We can
expensive.
unplug that one from the Xbox and plug it into the computer.
This one was what? Was it 9 or 15?
16.
Yeah.
I think that's about what I paid for my thingy. I got mine used though.
Travis
They're
got a
usually
used
like
thingy.
$60.
Yep, for $16.
Good job.
Visit us on YouPorn.
Yeah, Senya sucks, remember?
God.
Oh, we're gonna have to start a whole new channel.
Senya sucks a used thingy.
So, seeing as how this is a gamers channel, I got to speak about one thing. This week's Humble Bundle is a bunch of real-time strategy games that barely anyone is going to play.
You know, I haven't checked Steam in a long time.
I'll check
The
it
Humble
out.
What
Bundle
kind
isn't
of-
technically Steam.
I thought it was...
You can buy them like Steam code wise, but the Humble Bundles are like their own website.
Yeah.
Oh.
The Humble Bundle this week includes Rome Total War 2.
Well, see you,
Yeah.
Phil.
Bye,
So,
Steve.
bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, you go frog.
Or no, Medieval
Oh,
2.
yeah, that
Later.
War.
We'll talk about how you're gay now.
So he's gay.
Very.
Oh, yeah.
Dicks
Like-
all over the
He
place.
likes
so
it when
gay.
men rub their ball sacks over his bald head.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I left.
That's called a
That
shine.
was graphic.
Sorry.
That's okay. We just, hadn't quite gotten to the sweaty ball sacks on his head part yet.
I didn't
but
say sweaty.
Are you sure?
And I just
Brings
launched.
new elements.
I feel like it's
I
come
just
up
launched
before.
us
Well,
right
it
into
might have.
it. Now the floor is open. Go.
Okay. He pulls his own sweaty ball sack onto his own head.
That is a very
He's not
stretchy ball
that
sack.
flexible.
No, that's why he learned yoga. That was the only reason.
It's a special kind of yoga that lets you pull your ball sack onto your head.
And that is the entire
Oh.
purpose.
Man, now I wish I had a
There
ball
is
sack
yoga
so I could
like
try.
that.
Yeah, but then you
I
need
see
to
pictures
the
of India.
head.
Oh god!
Hair grows back.
Oh, did you see it? The guy
Yes,
that
oh my
rolls
God.
his penis on the stick and then
Yep.
sticks it behind him and starts doing squats.
I've seen
Oh,
it. It's awful.
oh,
I don't want to see it. Don't
What was it
offer.
called again?
the
Stay away from his porn room, then.
no, they
I
were
will.
Indian holy men.
Yeah. That makes it better.
The order of the stretchy penis.
Babas.
It
Yeah.
flaps in the wind.
It was great because seriously, none of them were wearing clothes over that portion of their body. It was
No,
just
just
there.
dicks
Are they the guys
flapping
They
in the
could do
wind.
tricks.
Are they the guys that like tie like weights to their dick and just kind of swing them around?
Probably.
Some of those,
Probably.
yeah.
So,
So, one of those.
so I saw some porn, and I want to talk about
Wow.
How did this
Who'd
go
have
from
thought?
movies to
What a
porn?
shit.
it. Okay, so here's the thing. I thought it was absolutely hilarious.
Aren't you building a room for this?
Yes. Now look, there. It started out in the African savannah, okay,
Oh, God.
and there are these, like Swahilis running around, okay, spears and grass skirts and everything, and then it cuts to this safari jeep, and it's driving along, and it stops next to this African guy running along with a spear and a grass skirt, and they pull out a map and ask him directions. And he starts pointing over this way, and then it starts to narrate about how these people are on the hunt for the largest African dogs. And then they find these guys who they had cut in the very beginning scene, right? And it turns out that they've got like 24-inch dicks tied around their waists. And they come up with their translator and they talk to them. And they're just like, yeah, okay, it's all right. You guys can go ahead and take photos. And so they're standing there posing with their spears and their shrunken heads and their wrapped around wangs, slapping their faces and dongs. And look at us. And there's one blonde woman, and she's just standing there giggling as they waggle their penises at her. And then the clip ended. And I was like, oh, I wanted to keep watching that.
You would.
Well, I wanted to see what happened next. It was probably sex.
Exactly.
She
Somebody
probably
was
took
going to
all
have
of them
sex with her.
But the question you didn't ask
in
is,
all 18 holes.
you know, you lined yourself up for a good African joke. Man, 24-inch penis wrapped around their waist, fucking skinny bastards.
Well, the way that started out, I was about to ask if you were sure if it was porn or if it was National Geographic. Because if they show tits, it doesn't necessarily make it porn.
There weren't any boobs. It may very well have been National Geographic. It just happened to be on a
That
site
does
for
sound
porn.
like something you'd see on English television.
It does seem a little odd that they said they were looking for the biggest cocks.
Well, to be
Yeah.
fair, that could have been somebody else's dub over an original National Geographic
Very true.
video.
That's true.
But
That might explain the asking for directions.
no, they really did ask for directions, though. It was on the video. When you ask an African tribesman, where do I find the tribesman with the biggest dogs? And he knows
I'm
where to
pretty sure.
point. Something is weird.
If it's a local tribe
Oh, no.
and you ask
Don't
someone,
make it
hey,
up.
where are the men that wrap their dicks around their waist? They're just going to be like, oh, yeah, them. They're like, that's a pair.
Those weirdos, yeah.
Yeah, those fucking weirdos.
Yeah, I mean,
They're
that would
over
be a
there.
very distinct trait. If they're even in the area, you're going to be like, all right,
Oh,
we don't talk
them.
about them. Yeah, exactly.
You think
We
that's
don't go
cool?
near them.
So, I mean, maybe they weren't specifically asking for directions, just where are the weird guys with the big dicks at?
You think that's weird? I know this guy with a stick.
You really
Oh,
need
God.
to see that.
All right, let's get back to something that isn't awful. Actual
Too late.
movies.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you're in the wrong
The new
podcast.
Spider-Man, not awful, much better.
Spider-Man's awful all the time.
Not
The,
all
the,
time.
the brand
I
new
always kind of
one?
liked
Yes.
Did one just come out then?
No, there's a sequel coming out.
No, I know. So you mean the last one still?
Yes.
Okay, so not the brand new one.
him. I even like the super stupid new comic Spider-Man where Dr. Octopus took over his body. It's actually pretty good.
Surprisingly.
If there was anything worthwhile and redeemable about Spider-Man, I might, in some small way, glimmer some kind of hope from that. But I don't because I
He's
hate
still
Spider-Man.
a giant retarded man-child.
You might actually like the new one. It's Spider-Man with an evil scientist brain.
Well, he already had a scientist brain.
Well,
and
no,
he's arguably evil.
And masochistic. Yeah.
Well, not masochistic so much, but he was arguably evil.
He
He's
is
kind
now.
of a douche.
I was gonna say, he never did.
Deal with the devil!
It's kind of like Spider Hitler now.
I'm pretty sure they did something like that. They did Spider-Ham. They would do Spider-Hitler.
It's true. Spider-Ham is a thing, where Spider-Man was a pig.
They also did a crossover. They also did a crossover of Lobo and Howard the Duck.
It's
Na na
true.
na 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 na.
Oh, I was drinking.
It's true. They had Lobo the Duck.
It was great.
Lobo
We
the
got that
Duck.
on
When Marvel
last
and
podcast.
DC
It
crossed
was
over into the same universe.
Oh man, who is this?
I don't know.
Not entirely.
Let's find out.
Yes, let's.
Maybe it's Phil on his break.
Maybe.
Now I'm on break.
Yay!
Let's go on his back.
Thanks for the
You
$100
got us
tip,
really
Nick.
nervous there for a minute.
Really?
Just let
Yeah, I
you know.
appreciate the $100 tip. I used to contribute to my PlayStation 4 fund.
It's important.
Actually, how much did you write down?
I don't know.
So we're talking
I
about.
think I put it like I rounded up.
You
to
really
like
gave a
$30.
receipt to him and said, just pick your own tip.
He always
did.
does.
He said, "Here, just write
Rounded
something
up to
down."
30?
Yeah,
Okay.
So, back on subject.
so it was like $7.
We were talking about movies. You left, and we talked about porn. Now we're back to movies again.
Oh, okay. Twilight sucks.
Well,
That
How
just
about
has to
not?
be said.
Actually, no. You know
Talk
what?
about
Yeah,
that.
let us talk about Twilight a little bit because there is an interesting theory that that Carlton Travis here came up with
It
that
wasn't
actually
just
fascinates
him.
me. Yes, but since
was-
you're not important, I'm going to give the floor to him.
and he did bring it up. He just agreed.
No, we had actually been talking about it for years when it actually
I know,
Well, that's
but
just
on
because it's
here.
infuriating.
Well,
and
anyway, what
stupid.
is the
And anyway, on here, he's the
No,
one
if you
broken.
watch the movie, okay, these are vampires. No, they're not. They fucking twinkle. They don't kill people. Well, they're dark fairies. That's the best way to put it. They're just sparkly fairies that happen to drink blood.
The sparkliness is a glamour,
Yeah.
and dark fairies do drink blood, so that just works.
This is a gamer's channel. If anyone's ever played White Wolf or read any of their stuff, read Changeling the Dreaming, the fucking Unseelie Court. Totally. Yeah, they're Unseelie fairies.
See, and I'm actually willing to accept Twilight to a certain extent, were they to simply go, these are a bunch of unseelie fairies who happen to not like werewolves.
Yeah, it's the fact that they said they were vampires, which are fucking awesome, that makes it suck.
And vegetarians at that.
Oh yeah, Stephanie Meyer knows nothing about vampires or vegetarians.
I was going to say, I don't think that word thinks or means what she thinks it means.
I don't think it means what you think it means.
How self-serving is the whole series when it's about literally the two hottest actors you can pay for a minimal amount of money fighting over some fugly-ass chick for, what, 6 movies?
It's actually very closely physically related to her.
Who can't decide
They
if she
look
likes
very similar.
necrophilia or bestiality?
Yeah. Those are
Well, why
your
not?
And frankly, one
Don't
of them.
forget pedophilia, because he's, what, 100
Oh, yeah.
something and she's
Oh.
16?
No, it's okay. It's okay because he's still in high school.
No,
That makes
it's
it all
not.
better.
Speaking of which,
Just because you're
why
a
is
super
he still
senior
in
by
high
a couple
school?
of years
You know,
doesn't make it
Because
okay.
he's mentally retarded.
You know, my
Xander
sister,
Clark looks 40. He's still 80.
my sister forced me to watch the first movie, and
Well, now you're gay.
He already was.
and what they specifically said was that they make them go to school to keep up appearances.
Well, how long can you do that before people start to realize you're not supposed to be in high
Really?
school
Okay.
What's the
anymore?
difference, though? Why can't they just say they're 18 forever and out of school?
Right.
What's the difference
Or
between
19.
16 and 18?
Exactly.
Yeah, I just
What's
look
the
young.
genetic difference?
Like,
How could
in,
they
in-
tell?
in the movie, like he has to take like a test or something, and he literally knows all the answers, even the answers the teacher doesn't know. It's like, wouldn't you just be bored?
Yeah, going through high school over and over again, dealing with these immature fucks
Maybe
all
they
the
do it
time.
because they just like to cause drama.
Maybe they do it because they had to have him in high school to appeal to a female audience.
Oh, that's probably what it was.
It was a
Teenagers, yeah.
This
tween
way,
movie.
this way, all those lonely girls in high school can imagine that their Edward is there in high school just for them.
What?
Okay, that's not even the worst part. The only reason I know about this is my brother was talking about it.
Right.
No,
At least
truthfully.
I admitted I've watched one.
No, I haven't. But the worst part of it is, I don't even know which book it is. Apparently, the chick is pregnant with a child that the werewolf falls in love with, the unborn child, and they are bonded
He doesn't know
before
that-
it's even born.
I'm sorry, I did read the books. He didn't know that he loved it until the child was born.
Still
Oh
creepy as
my
fuck.
Still,
God.
it's a newborn baby.
Come on.
That's
Really?
ridiculous.
They are life bonded,
Yeah.
and it's a baby.
Pedophilia and
Wow.
bestiality.
At the same time.
And house-destroying sex. Don't forget about that.
Right.
They blew up a house by fucking.
I never watched that far.
I haven't seen it or read it at all, but my
I was
roommate
forced
has.
to watch the first one, and I was forced to watch
Well, I'm a gay
15
now.
minutes of the second one before I bitched so much. She went, "Fine, you don't have to see it. Thank you."
That's all I wanted.
I only watched
And
the
I
first
was not
one.
going to stop until you gave me permission to not care.
Did you still want to say something?
No, we passed the subject.
Fair
Enough
enough.
was said.
Sorry.
God, screw Twilight. Let's talk about Howard the Duck. I fucking love Howard the Duck. Howard the Duck is one of the single best 80s movies, and to be perfectly honest, just one of the single best movies ever made by anyone ever.
Great.
I was watching a video on YouTube the other day.
Okay.
I forget what channel it was, but Howard the Duck was on it. The list was the top 10 ridiculously bad movies that are so bad that they're good.
Yeah,
And
except that
Howard
it
the
wasn't
Duck was
even
on it.
bad. It was good. Screw everyone who thinks it's a bad movie. Howard the Duck rocks. Everyone everywhere, especially you, Steve. You need to go watch Howard the Duck.
It is actually good.
The 80s was a fucked up time for
Yes.
children's movies.
Yeah.
I wouldn't qualify that as a children's movie.
I have
Crystal.
No, I have the perfect example.
Labyrinth.
Fucking Labyrinth. Yes.
That's what I meant.
Oh, I love that
Labyrinth.
movie.
Stop. No, this is why. Labyrinth, starring David Bowie and David Bowie's bulge. If they did not give them separate billing in that, they should have. Because it's a supporting character all on its own.
His bulge arrived before he did. It was like you and your nose.
It was lovely and I loved it.
No. It's still my favorite movie. I'm not
It
gonna
was
lie.
his bulge and then his hair. He had 80s hairband hair. It was intense.
That's because David Bowie is an 80s hair band.
Ziggy Stardust.
He's all
did
of
it
them
all.
rolled into one person.
Yeah, I was going to add that the 80s was just a fucked up time for everything.
Yes.
Everything
80s
was
hair
okay.
bands, horror movies. I mean, the Nightmare on Elm Street movies.
The
Tight.
decade
Street
of
Sharks.
one-hit wonder.
Yes!
Yes! Oh my god!
Oh man,
Everything was
And
fucked
And let's
up
not
in the
forget,
80s.
let's not forget Zardoz.
that was 70s.
That
That
was
was in the
40s.
Are you
70s.
sure?
That's
Yeah.
a long
78,
decade there.
1970s.
It was still
70s
horrible.
was fucked up too, but that was because of drugs.
Yes.
The 80s was
How
different drugs.
many shrooms do you think they were on when they filmed Zardoz? I swear to God.
All of them.
All right,
Oh,
Sean
man.
Connery, you're gonna put on these gigantic go-go boots and this spandex little.
Onesie.
I'm going to need more drugs.
It required all of the shrooms and some coke because you got to get shit done.
Yes. It is. Well, they did have to give him an erection.
Viagra.
The penis is evil after all.
And guns are good.
God, Zardoz. That movie just kind of
When
sometimes
it
makes
starts
me hate
out
life.
with a giant floating head that just starts spitting out guns and ammo, you know you got a good movie.
Steve,
No,
if
you
you ever
clearly
want to
don't.
lose
And
2
by
hours
good,
of
you
your
mean
life, watch
absolutely horrible,
Zardoz.
right?
That was a atrocious movie.
I was gonna
Yes.
say Zardoz can actually be simulated a lot by just gouging your eyeballs out with something sharp.
There was nothing close when we were watching it.
I don't want to go level 2. All right, that's enough of that. God. All right, anyway.
Stop.
Now, what else?
What
Bill
else? What?
Schaumbach.
Movies.
Oh, movies?
How about a random
How about a
movie?
movie that this person over here made me watch? The man with the no hair.
Make you watch.
A movie whose name did not describe the movie at all. New
Okay.
Nuns, Big Guns.
New
God.
guns, big guns. One word
not
describes
seen
that.
this.
Hey, that was
Awesome.
that was a group decision.
I was fighting against it the entire time.
Kickstand.
But still, like
Kickstand.
6 more people
Yes.
wanted to. It was a group
Oh
vote.
man, yes. No, Kickstand was the Travis of their group.
If you ever want to see a black biker rape an old lady to death,
No,
and
girl.
then do the accounting.
Wait a minute. What?
The black guy with the huge dick was the
So
They
accountant.
kept him on hand.
I'm sorry, no. Is this the person you were referring to me as?
Yeah.
Well, you're the one that
I
wrote the
rape
huge
old
wig.
women to death and
No,
then
no.
do accounting?
No, it was a teenage girl. Then an
It's
old
just
lady.
that you're the one with the big dick.
He didn't
Can't do
discriminate.
accounting.
Look, here's the thing, okay? This movie was very specific. The gang kept Kickstand around for 2 reasons. One was actually to do the books, and the other one, I swear to God, was to rape people to death as an example to others. That was his job description.
you're not going to pay us the money you owe us? Zip, rape, 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 dead.
All right, now get the money and then go count it up, Kickstand. We'll stay out here and look thuggish.
Pretty
Yep.
much.
Oh.
Such a bad movie.
In such a good way.
Jesus Christ, Vampire Hunter.
I remember that movie. It's been a while, but yes.
How can you be in 2 places at once? I'm everywhere.
Quick
Not quite
synopsis.
that harsh, but yes.
So, quick synopsis of that movie is Jesus Christ teams up with Santos, the saint of Mexican wrestling, to take down a band of Canadian vampires who are abducting lesbians off the street in order to steal their skin and graft it onto their own bodies so they can walk in the daylight.
I thought regular vampires were kidnapping Canadian lesbians.
Yeah.
Well, they were all Canadian. It was a Canadian movie.
Were they all Canadian?
Jesus is
Okay.
Canadian, too.
Hobo with a
Oh,
shotgun.
I'm sorry, and I forgot Mary Magnum.
Hobo with a
Of course.
shotgun.
Hobo with Shotgun was great.
Oh, man.
Stanley Tweedle.
Yeah. Put your head down.
That's the only reason I actually
It was
watched it all the
awful,
way
too.
through.
Oh, man. It was awful in such a good way, though. It was awful like Newt Nuns with Big Guns is awful.
It was
worse than New
Not
Nuts with Big
Swamp
Guns
Thing,
in the way that it was awful.
Toxic
Oh, man.
Avenger type awful.
You know, if that movie teaches you one thing, it is not to leave loaded shotguns on the shelf where hobos could get them.
I need
All right.
to find more trauma movies. Those are
Well,
all
there was
just
also
wonderful
gore
horror
that was
fests.
just bad.
Gore is the worst thing I've ever watched.
Yeah.
Seriously,
And I've watched scat porn.
they
Oh, we're
can
going
we
back
not
to
mention
porn.
scat porn? Oh, Jesus Christ, no!
That's how we ended the
It's
first
too
one.
late. It's come up.
It's
What
fine.
about
No.
No.
Just leave it there.
We can drop it.
It's been mentioned, done.
We don't need to talk about it.
That's for the
anymore.
next
Seriously,
podcast.
like the entire costume.
No, just stop. It's on the first podcast.
No,
They
for
know.
gore.
Oh, okay.
The
I thought you
entire
were talking
costume budget must have been like $100, and they went to just like a Halloween store and took all the rejects out of the like discount bin because it was just retarded.
It was. It was some retarded kid's brainchild.
The big
I'm sorry.
powerful object looked like a wad of chewing gum with a light on the
I
inside.
think
It was
was.
just so bad.
I think it was a bunch of chewing gum they sat together and then freaking spray painted. Oh, it was awful.
Now stick a flashing light in it. There we go.
Alright, somebody throw me the turtle of embarrassing stories.
Oh, God.
Because it's...
Now, this is where we get to the point that the podcast becomes unreleasable.
it's
I
time
remember
for
that.
embarrassing stories.
At
I know-
least yours.
Some of you have heard this story, but I'm going to go ahead and tell it again anyway for the benefit of people who haven't.
Internet needs to know.
But, so I'm in junior high, and I'm playing flag football in gym, okay? And, Steve, you know, I'm the fat guy here. I was fat back then, too. I'm not very fast. So I was never very good at catching people. So when I got the opportunity, I got enthusiastic about it, okay? So, one day, I'm playing flag football in gym, right? And the other end of the field, the member of the other team's got the ball. And he's coming my way. And I'm like, yes, I can intercept this guy. I know I can. And I'm big. If I hit somebody, I grab them, they're not going to, keep moving. So, I make a beeline for him, right? And I know I'm going to get him. I'm going to get his flag. I'm going to get his flag. I'm moving. I reach out to grab his flag, and you've got to understand that the kid I'm going for is this shorter than me, really skinny black kid, okay? Fast as a fucking whip. And I'm going for him, and he sees me, okay? And I reach out for his flag, and he jumps in the air and twists towards me. But I don't notice. So I keep reaching, and I grab. And you've got to understand my mindset. I'm really happy. I've got this flag. So I just go, whip! And just turn my whole body as fast as possible and pull as hard as I can. And what I've got is a handful of this kid's junk. And he just goes stiff as a board. And he goes, oh God, my dick! You got my dick! It just falls to the ground in a heap.
Wouldn't you?
Well, the worst part was afterwards. And the coach just comes up to me and goes, why did you grab his dick? Well, I didn't need to. Well, if you didn't need to, why'd you do it? Well, it was just there. When you're on the spot, how do you explain, oops, I pulled his dick?
I don't know how Phil been doing it for you.
The whole time he's just rolling around on the ground, holding his crotch, going, my dick! It was a very bad day.
You should have gone last because no one else is embarrassing
Alright, so that was my embarrassing story. Who wants the turtle next?
I don't think anyone can top that.
Oh,
I don't
somebody
think
needs it.
anyone can top that.
It doesn't have to top it.
Oh, come on,
wait,
anybody?
no.
Now
we
that I
had
think
this
about it, my
Ego
story
Frog.
isn't
You
that
have to
funny.
tell the psychic battle with the oatmeal.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh, guess
Don't
why?
don't use names.
Found her. She lives here now.
What?
Yeah,
Oh
no.
my God.
So now you have to tell the
ready
story.
for
Call
the
her
story.
L.
Oh no.
Okay?
Ellen is
So-
good.
So we were were living in Springfield. Me and Pimp Daddy Willie T and Senya and couple other roommates whose names won't get mentioned. And we all lived in this little 2-bedroom apartment, and we didn't have a lot to do sometimes. So I would just sit on the floor watching television. And one of my roommates, we'll call her Elle because Elle, and she comes into the living room and says hi to everyone and goes in the kitchen and makes this big bowl of oatmeal. I come back, and she comes back out of the living room, out of the kitchen into the living room, and she's just standing there with a bowl of oatmeal in her hand, absentmindedly shoveling oatmeal into her mouth, shoveling, and at one shovel, a little blob of oatmeal just falls off the spoon right onto the ground, and she looks down at the oatmeal and stares at it. And stares at it. And stares at it. For about 2 minutes. I'm just sitting there staring at her, staring at the oatmeal. And it clicked in my head, like just this light bulb went off right in my head, and I figured it out. The oatmeal was taking over her mind. That it had to have been what it was, because any other person would have either pretended like they didn't do it, walked away from it, and acted like it was somebody else, or cleaned it up. She was clearly in a battle of wills to not be dominated by the oatmeal. So I thought, I'm like, oh my god, I have to save her. So I leapt up, reached over to my right, grabbed the towel, dove her pepper, smoked up the oatmeal, and she still stared at the spot where the oatmeal was for about 20 seconds, and finally she looks up and she goes, "Hey, I was gonna get that." I saved her life.
This is the same
How much
person
you
that
had to drink?
cut her own steak.
None.
Yeah,
You were
I know.
sober.
The
interesting.
fully grown adult who couldn't cut her own steak. We remember.
She couldn't do anything for
Okay,
herself.
my embarrassing story is not that hilarious, but it's the best I got. When I was a junior in high school, I used to sing the national anthem at a lot of basketball games. Hundreds of people
Right.
staring at you instead of the flag, singing. And I'm doing great. I mean, tonight I am killing it. I am on every pitch is perfect, and I'm just doing a great job. Next thing you know, in the middle of verse, in the microphone, 200 people staring at me. I go, oh crap. And you hear the crowd just go, and I sucked it up and I continued singing, and they went, "Thank you for the wonderful national anthem." And I walk out of the gym like this. that was the last. Now, mind you, I had done national anthems probably a dozen times that year. That was the last time they ever asked me to sing the national anthem.
Did you forget the words?
I had the words in front of me, and I was singing, but my mind was somewhere else, and suddenly it dawned on me, I don't know what the next words are, so I just went, oh crap. Yeah. So that's my embarrassing story.
Okay, I got one. Back when I was in high school, I was taking photography too, and Pimp Daddy Willie T and Eagle Frog helped me put together a video presentation. It was just supposed to be some short little video about whatever the hell we wanted. So we were doing a Steve Irwin hunting Hare Krishna's video.
The one we couldn't finish because yeah.
Well, we got everything shot for it, but I didn't have time to edit it. So whenever I went to show it to school, I was just trying to fast forward through the parts that we weren't supposed to use. And I accidentally hit stop and play on the place where I'm handcuffed to the bed with blood coming out of my mouth, which was part of the scene, but us having our conversation wasn't. Whenever someone said, "You know, this looks really bad, right?" I was like, "Well, yeah, but I kind of like being handcuffed to the bed." With the classroom full of people.
I'm sorry, I didn't know that.
Okay, yeah, I was actually in a film production class when I was in high school. And we all got split up into teams. I think I had 2 other people on my team. And we were supposed to make an anti-drug campaign. A movie about it.
I'd be terrible at that.
Just leave it at that. Anyway, and so we decided we'd go all out, except I didn't know that the 2 other people in my group were drug addicts. And they were actually taking footage of them doing, like, hits out of an apple and all sorts of stuff. But that wasn't even the entire video. We were actually going to shoot a bunch of it at school, and so we had brought, like powdered sugar and stuff that looked like it that we could use as props. Next thing we knew, we heard all sorts of commotion out in the halls. They were searching all of the lockers because somebody had found drugs.
Oh God, it wasn't your drugs, was it?
My teacher said, just a moment. He went out into the hall, and you heard him saying, okay, seriously, did you even open the bag? Did you even open the bag? This is powdered sugar! And then you heard them closing all of the lockers.
Our bad. Never mind. Go back to that. Oh, that's funny.
Oh, it was great. Except then they showed the rest of the video, and she said, this is not what it's supposed to be about.
That's funny.
I got another one I can do.
Yeah,
It was another high school one. I remember being in computer class, and I'd finish my homework, and then I'd just kind of sit there in the little chair and read. And we didn't have the desks with the chairs attached in that class. We had the crappy little plastic chairs with the metal legs. And I was sitting there reading my book after I was done with my homework, and then I just felt wind run past me and felt a thud, and I pulled my book down and realized that I had dropped like 3 feet. I just looked up, and everyone in the class is just looking at me because I'm sitting on the ground. I just looked around, put my nose back in my book, completely ignored that anything had happened at all.
So I got one more really quick here. I was in science class in junior high, and we're all just sitting around, and our teacher is having us read definitions from out of the book. Each student was just taking a turn reading a definition, and so I was just sitting there minding my own business. I wasn't really even thinking about anything. I was just kind of drooling on myself and hoping for science class to get over because I hated science.
So you were thinking about dick.
Yeah, pretty much. And so, just sitting there, and next thing I know, I was staring at the paper blankly. I remember counting ahead of me to the people I needed to do. The people ahead of me. The people I needed. That came out wrong.
The people I need to do list. That's got to be a big one.
Hey, kickstand, get over here.
The people that were going to go before me, right? So I knew which word I had, and it was organism. So I'm sitting there, just waiting for my turn to pop up. And I'm staring at the paper, and suddenly I hear somebody go, Phil, out of nowhere. I just kind of snap my head up and go, orgasm! 10 minutes later, when everyone's caught their breath, I say organism and bow my head in shame.
Oh, I got another one. In high school.
Why is there a trend of high school here?
Because we were losers.
I think that's when we're
Yeah.
most awkward.
This one, I'm not so much embarrassed about as proud.
Say bye to Phil first.
Bye,
Ego
Z.
Frog.
Bye, Ego
Thank
Frog.
you for joining us.
Gotta go suck more dick!
Oh, gotta make that
That's how you
money
make
somehow.
the pennies. Yeah, we know.
Jesus.
PS4.
Hey, don't take 4 cents for an answer.
Okay.
I get paid almost entirely in tips.
I get paid in jizz, thank you.
Anyway, you were
said
saying?
it. That sounds sticky.
Oh yeah,
Sold,
in
Dunkin'
English
Donuts
class in high school, they
As Billy
used
left.
to do pass-along stories.
I remember
Where
some of
you'd
those.
start writing, and then you'd take your paper after a certain amount of time and hand it to the person behind you. I am the reason that particular class stopped doing pass-along stories. Because I got a weird imagination and a fucked up sense of humor, so I just write the most nonsensical shit. Like, it would make sense, but it doesn't make sense. And then hand it off to the person behind me, and they just go, I don't know what to do.
I would imagine you would do it just to cause chaos and confusion.
Well,
right?
no, to be fair, the kid behind me is someone that me and William grew up with. The little skinny kid that you sat on in grade school when he hated
Matt
you.
Moody?
I wasn't going to say his name, but yeah.
Class,
I
way
hate
to go.
that guy.
Yeah, and so he was right behind me, so he'd get my stories, so I would purposely fuck him up as much as I could. And then just hand it back, and he's like, I don't know what to do with Mr. Ammon, our 80-year-old biology teacher, hitting on me at the beach. Wearing a Speedo.
I actually did that a poetry reading that I went to. They did a pass along poem, and the only line that you were able to look at is the one right before yours. And I'm just like, I don't know where this was going, so I'll start a new one. And as soon as they got to it, just everybody was laughing and having a good time until they got to mine, and everybody just stopped.
Great.
Because they didn't know what to think so much. Meanwhile, my best friend and I were just rolling.
See,
we thought it was hilarious.
Pass-along stories never work for people like us because I encountered this same problem routinely. If you remember, Travis...
Oh, I remember.
The stories we used to write.
Yeah.
That one story in particular, it says a lot about our ability to screw up a pass-along story pretty bad.
Well, really, whenever we were doing it then, it was mostly just everything that pissed us off we made fun of in the most offensive, horrible way possible.
It's true.
Like, half of it was devoted to at least one ex-girlfriend of someone.
Alright, look. Maybe I'm a vindictive bitch.
Maybe?
Maybe. I won't say for sure, because the books are still out.
They never saw publish.
Exactly. Sam knows what I'm talking about.
Sure that you
Yeah.
Publish the books of vengeance. Through mockery.
I know.
So then, we have passed around the turtle of embarrassing stories. Also, we have spoken about movies and porn.
Didn't
Is that the end of our repertoire there?
Well, how far are we into this one? Is it...
It's been about 46 minutes.
Okay, we can end it all. Well, shit, we kind of skipped over. We started with the 80s at some point. There's just so much to mine from there.
Yeah.
Fucking television, cartoons, shit you remember from then that was
It was
awesome.
an incredible era. For
The
movies.
Ninja fucking Turtles.
The good ones?
Yes.
Good ones, yes. You always have to specify.
Back when Leonardo was still cool.
Even the movies, all the way up till Turtles 3. That's when it
Oh
just
god,
sucked.
screw Turtles 3. But yes, no, I loved the first and second live-action Ninja Turtles. I can still remember going to the theater to see the first live-action Ninja
I saw
Turtles.
the first one with my grandma.
I was excited to see what they did with Splinter, and I can still remember just so happy, just going, oh my god, seeing that rat puppet.
Well, what's awesome is they still fucking hold up, because
Yeah.
those costumes were amazing.
They really were.
Oh god, who was it? Who was it in the Donatello costume? Who
Corey
was-
Feldman.
Corey fucking
No,
Feldman.
that
That's
that
right.
was the voice.
Reaganomics.
The one in the costume was
If you say Corey Haim, I'm gonna shit my pants.
no,
It's like, they always work together!
no, Ernie,
Damn the
Ernie
Corys.
Reyes Jr. He was actually the one doing all of the martial arts in the giant foam costume.
Who's that?
He's the one who played the pizza delivery boy in the second one.
Yeah.
Oh.
Really? I think we all need to take a minute and give props to the guys who did the live-action Ninja Turtles rock and roll shows. Completely
I've
in
never
the
seen
The Out of Their Shells tour.
Yeah,
I
no,
had that
there's
cassette
legitimately
tape
a
and
live
played it
action
until
rock-
it fell apart.
Yeah, a live-action rock show of people in the Ninja Turtles costumes playing music on stage.
I had it downloaded
Were
to
they
my now dead
actually playing
computer.
it, or were they looking like they were
How
playing
would I
it?
know?
No,
Does it
they were
matter?
lip syncing. They were in giant foam suits. They can't play a guitar with fucking 3-inch wide fingers.
Right?
Then I'll
I mean,
look
if
at
they
You
could,
just glue the guitar pick to him, I guess, but that still sounds miserable.
and he probably wouldn't be able to
The
see
thing
it
is,
either.
the music was pretty damn good.
Oh,
Surprisingly
man. I
so.
remember having a soundtrack for like Turtles rap when I was
Vanilla
little.
Ice.
Was it Vanilla
Yeah,
Ice?
yeah.
The
Vanilla
ninja
Ice,
rap?
the ninja rap.
Ninja,
He got
rap.
so much shit for doing that.
I know we did.
You mean the only good song he ever wrote? Or
Ice Ice
performed?
Baby is awesome, even if they did rip off Pressure by Queen.
No, it's slightly different, so it's not ripping it
It's
off.
slightly different.
There's a
therefore not the
at
same.
the end of it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Dun, 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 dun.
That was their argument whenever Queen took him to court for it.
Yeah.
That
No,
actually
we
happened?
went.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's different.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't
That
really
extra
It was
beat
different.
was their argument.
Yeah.
And it
They
held
didn't
up.
lose either, yeah.
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 Holy crap! Well, now I know how to rip off music.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
that
all
was
you
his
have to
entire
do.
defense,
But
was there
really,
was an
it's hard
extra
not
one
to
extra
rip
beat.
off music because
Yeah.
there's only so many combinations of notes.
Well, then
That's
again,
true.
if we want to talk about people who did an awesome job because of the insane costumes they were in, Ludo. How heavy was that costume?
Ludo.
It started out being 175
Didn't they
pounds.
say it took something like 5 or 6 people to actually work the entire
One
thing?
guy.
I always remember.
No,
Ludo-
the original one, the first one they
Oh yeah,
made,
the original
took about
one.
6 people, and
yeah,
they
but
had
there was no way that they could fit all.
yeah.
these
So
people.
they said that they had to redo it so that one. Oh God, yes.
I
Okay.
always remember Ludo for the little biting monsters on the sticks that they attacked him with when he was tied up.
Yeah.
I don't know
Oh, yeah,
why.
eating sushi.
But- okay, see, here's the
No.
thing. Here's the thing. I've
That is
got
one of my
this.
favorite
I've got this
characters.
stick at work that we use to get things down from the high shelf.
Does it remind you of
And
those
I
things?
always carry it around, going like I'm using it to attack Ludo.
Yes.
Always, every time I pick it up, I can't help it.
The thing about Ludo, though, it wasn't the guy in the suit that made it awesome. It was the fucking work they put into the
Oh, yeah.
animatronics for his face
yeah.
because he was so expressive.
well, his
Him and
goggles,
Hoggle.
yeah.
Henson
Yeah.
rocks.
Did
Yeah,
you
yeah,
see?
Henson was
Did you
awesome.
ever see the
It's a
controls?
shame he,
Just
didn't
for
go to
his
the
face.
doctor for that
Yeah,
cold.
Just for his
Right.
face.
It took like something like 3 to 6 people to do Hoggles and expressions. It was an
Yeah.
insane amount of work.
Yeah, they put a lot of work into that movie.
One of the coolest things I've ever seen. Okay, I watched Top Chef, but they did a thing.
Gay.
Yeah, fuck you. Cooking is awesome. It's
Him
food.
and Ego Frog.
We
Yeah.
watched it. What are you talking about?
Fine, I'm gay. Whatever.
No, they had the Muppets. Sorry, the Sesame Street characters show up, and it is just hilarious to watch the Sesame Street characters go blue.
Go blue.
As in foul language and dirty jokes coming out of Elmo
Yes.
and Cookie Monster.
You're right.
I know
That
how
would
to
be
watch
funny.
Watson.
Fuck you, burn the roast. Yeah, I could see that.
Well, another thing, like talking about still Jim Henson, the Skeksis in Dark Crystal. You never see it, but I actually saw one of the making of that. And each Skeksis, not only did it have 2 people inside controlling just the body, but there were also 3 to 4 puppeteers around the base of it.
You had to move
And-
the arms and legs.
And so when they, well, and the mouth, and yeah. And so when they were actually filming the part where the Skeksis merge with the Mystics, it was just a clusterfuck of people tripping over each other and falling and trying to all
You know-
stay around their particular puppet.
About the Dark Crystal, I spent years resisting you when you told me to watch that friggin' movie. I finally friggin' watched the movie,
I made
and I
you
watched
watch it.
Yeah, back when I was young, and then I forgot
Yeah, and
about
I made him watch it again.
I forgot about it, genuinely. But she makes me watch it again, and I startled.
It's good.
With my adult mind now. Startled at how good it still is. It goes
Yeah.
from a childish movie to an adult movie, and it's amazing. Just watching those stupid Skeksis move around. Holy
Best
freaking
character?
crap.
Fizzkick.
There are a
No, Fizzkick, you stay here.
There are a lot of movies from my childhood that I'm afraid to watch again because
Oh,
there are
there's
so
some-
many that I have watched that don't hold up.
Okay.
Like you and me, we watched The Mask a
Oh,
lot.
that doesn't hold up.
No,
Nothing Jim
not
Carrey
at all.
holds up anymore.
No, Ace Ventura I can still
Yeah,
watch.
exactly.
No, I can't.
I can't either.
I can watch
No, I
Ace
can't.
Ventura.
Yeah.
No, but Power Rangers,
Power Ranger still holds up.
the movie, the first one with
Yeah.
Ivan Ooze.
That was
Oh, yes.
Totally looks like Robert Englund and yet isn't.
I don't know
aside
who that
from the
is.
shitty
Freddy Krueger.
wire fighting parts, it was a
Where
great
you can
movie.
actually see the wires
I agree.
that they were using.
I
to
loved
load
what they did with the suits in that movie. They
Yeah.
looked like actual armor instead of, jumpsuits.
Well, it was
Shiny metallic
it's
jumpsuits.
Power Rangers. It was borrowed footage.
The best
They didn't
part.
have the money to make the suits
Oh, yeah, I know.
until season 2.
The best
it's
part.
like fucking discarded fucking uniforms from Japanese pop stars.
Travis, you love saying the line. What is the best line in the entire movie?
I'm a frog?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
I'm a
and
frog.
he just sounds so upset. and
that's how
the explanation she
That's
gives
how Ego
doesn't
Frog
work.
got the frog part of his
Oh,
name.
that's right. I forgot about
We
that.
were sitting around watching
because he was the loser who had to be the frog.
Yeah, we were sitting around watching Power Rangers. He goes, "Why are you so sad, Adam?" "I'm a frog." And we go, "Phil!"
We have been ruining his self-esteem for like a decade.
Well, after a certain point, it just becomes habit.
It's not even as bad with how you guys used to play Power Rangers and the two that you forced to be the.
The Rake Twins.
Oh God! You know, sometimes it occurs to me we were mean children.
Well,
Children are always mean.
Yeah,
That's-
looking back on it, we were mean, but they were genuinely our friends, and we were all close friends.
Yeah.
And we can't help it that they were perfectly willing to be punching bags for 4 years while we played Power Rangers and Ninja Turtles every recess, and they were always either the villains or the girls. Because they were smaller than everyone else.
Oh
You
man.
guys suck as friends.
We really do. They also got injured every recess because,
And they still
well,
liked you.
we didn't go hi-ya and almost hit each other. We hit each other.
They still like us to this day. Though
Yeah.
sometimes I wonder why.
Right?
Yeah, I
Look,
was
it's
gonna
not
say-
like we're bad people. We're just inherently evil.
Oh, okay.
That's true.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you notice neither of them defending themselves either.
No.
Yeah.
You
In
guys
fact,
are
they're
bad friends.
elaborating on how
Alright.
they were bad.
I finally figured it out. It spurred my memory.
Oh. You have the turtle of embassing stories.
I do
What's
have
going on
the,
now?
I do have the turtle of embarrassing
Does it
stories.
involve me?
No, it does not.
Carry on.
I think I may have been like 8 or 9 years old at the time. And at that point, I had just gotten a PlayStation, and I heard that Final Fantasy VIII was the greatest thing to ever be made on anything.
You and Final Fantasy.
I understand.
Finally, and it sucked.
Hang on, hang on.
No, it didn't, but that's not what we're talking about.
But being an 8 or 9 year old boy, the first thing you do is you grab a piece of log and you turn it into a gun blade.
Oh, you were talking about actual.
I think I see where
Anyway.
this is going.
And then you get the little neighbor kid up the street that's probably 6 years old to sword
Oh,
fight
no.
with you. And
Oh, God.
pretend they're a monster. And then their parents come running, screaming out of the house when they see their kid getting beaten half to death with a piece of tree. And your parents explaining he's just very into it.
Oh, crap.
Oh, God, mine goes so well.
I forgot what I was going to say.
Here,
Well,
Think-
he's got one.
Okay, no, you just reminded me with the sticks and the beating. When we were kids, every time you and the Rake Twins would spend the night, do you remember what happened at some point?
No.
Where we would take off our socks and put one sock into the other sock and spend the rest of the night beating each other savagely until someone got hurt or something broke?
I don't remember that at all.
Oh, it happened.
Possibly because of the savage beating.
It happened a lot.
That seems disgusting.
You guys were morbid children.
Yeah, we were evil.
It was the 80s.
Alright, so now that I have the Turtle of Embarrassing Stories again, I just remembered another embarrassing story I should share. I used to sleepwalk when I was young. Every once in a while I'll still move about, but I'm far too heavy to get out of bed now.
Or far too
But-
lazy, one of the two.
One week when I'm about, 9, 10 years old, I'm staying with my grandfather over summer vacation, right? And I'm dead asleep in the middle of the night, right? Just dreaming, having a good time, and all of a sudden I hear my grandpa scream my name, William! And I shake awake! And I look around me and realize I'm holding my dick. And I am peeing on the couch.
I think I've heard this one before.
You have.
I sleep peed. Right on the couch, right next to the cot where I was sleeping.
That's
And
nuts.
and how? This is the thing. He tried to get me to explain why. And how, as a 9-year-old, do you explain to an angry adult that you've been sleep peeing? You don't. You just spend the rest of the week with him going, "Why would you pee on the couch?" I don't know why!
I'm sorry.
It turned out when I got home that my father understood. At least this. Because it turned out I'd been sleep peeing for years. And, he just never bothered mentioning it to me or waking me up. He just let me sleep pee and then let me go back to bed.
Aww.
So,
Maybe it's
that's
a good
something-
thing that your grandpa caught you, so you became aware of the problem.
Yeah, if he
Instead
hadn't,
of
you
like
never
at
know.
16, you and Jesse move in, and then she wakes up and you're peeing on her in the middle of the night.
She decided to take a nap on the
oh
couch.
man.
Apparently, that's not such an uncommon problem, though. My mother has done that before.
Sleep peed?
Yes.
Hi, Mom.
Oh, in an amazing place. My dad caught her peeing in the crisper drawer of the refrigerator.
That must have taken some explaining.
Well, you know,
She doesn't understand anything.
She probably wouldn't get this far into it anyway.
crisp does go
I
through fresh.
love my mom, but she's not exactly bright. William once convinced her that we spent the evening throwing fish around in our basement.
Oh, that was a good
From
night.
the wheel
Yeah,
of fish.
fish? Why were you throwing fish? Where'd you get fish? Oh, we got them from the Wheel of Fish game.
I think that was by the point you realized I was
Wheel of-
bullshitting her.
What? You had
But,
her going for a while.
What was as
though.
good as when I had your girlfriend convinced you had a movie called The Plumber.
Oh. I tried explaiing to her.
4-hour
no,
movie.
No, he's just fucking with you. It didn't. No, okay, fine. Go ahead. Keep talking to her.
A 4-hour movie
It
of
may-
just a plumber butt crack.
It made me believe for a while I could convince anybody of anything. Sometimes I can't.
It doesn't help that the girls I date are usually kind of dumb.
Well, yeah.
Kinda.
She stored most of her brains in her breasts. Okay,
They
so
just
anyway,
required so much blood flow that, you know.
it's been about an hour now. I think we should probably call this podcast to an end.
Okay.
Okay.
This is the Geeky Gamers channel signing out. Steve, thank you for listening. Everybody, take care.